Hello guys, and welcome back to the Heart of Racing, your YouTube channel dedicated to the sport of horse racing. Now, I'm actually off to Fontwell today, or Tuesday if you're watching this in the future. It is Valentine's Day and I'm going to be sharing my love for racehorses, so a great day, and I'm going to tell you all my picks for all the races there for my place spot in a second. But let's start off with some of the news stories for the week. Right, now let's start off with the Irish Gold Cup, and well, Size and John won that race. I didn't predict this horse to win that race. It was actually my last pick, but there's a lot of money for Sizing John on the day, and now a Cheltenham Gold Cup contender. I never talked about this horse in my Cheltenham Gold Cup vlog. If you want to see that, it's down below in the description. It's an anti-post betting guide to the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but I might do another one of those and just look at some of the runners that have come out of some of the decent races recently. But the runners behind him, well, I like to talk about the Gigginstown runners here, and that was Don Polly, Empire of Dirt and Road to Riches. Now these three horses, they won't go into the Gold Cup. I'd be very surprised if they went for the Gold Cup. In terms of the Gigginstown runner, Outlander's going to be the one for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, I think. But these three runners, Don Polly, Empire of Dirt and Road to Riches, are definitely Grand National contenders, and I've taken all of these anti-post for the Grand National, and I'm pretty sure Gigginstown are going to have a good handful of runners in there, and these three should be secure runners, and if they do go, then I think they're going to be right there near the finish. So that's going to be my prediction there. But well done to Sizing John, and we will talk about that horse in a future vlog. The one that I did note from that race who could be interesting if entered into the Cheltenham Gold Cup as a lively outsider was More of That, who fell at the last. More of That was running on really well in that race. I don't think it could win the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but it could throw up a threat and maybe a big prize for JP McManus. But definitely one to note down in that race was More of That. Now let's move on to a bit of flat talk, and let's talk about Postponed. Now Roger Varian has said that Postponed was on the gallops on Saturday and looked very impressive. He's getting ready to defend his crown on March 25th in the Shima Classic, Group 1 Shima Classic out in Meydan. Won this race very impressively last year, and he's there to defend his crown. He's currently 11-4 with Sky Bet for the Shima Classic this year, and I think the way Roger Varian's talking, I definitely think this horse is a solid shout for that race. A bit shorter price really if you're going anti-post, but definitely a pretty secure bet I think for that Shima Classic. The thing I'd like to note about Postponed is that if he is as impressive as he was last season, and if he has improved a tiny bit, I've noted this horse down for the Arc de Triomphe. A lot of people will say that's a silly bet, but 20-1 for the Arc de Triomphe I've got this horse at, and it's just a little gamble on that horse to go to Chantilly for the Arc. So an interesting runner, but I definitely think the way Roger Varian's talking, that this horse could go and win the Shima Classic on March 25th over in Meydan. This news story now I don't really want to get too much into, but Sir Anthony McCoy, the man you can see over my right shoulder there, what a hero this man was, and he still is. He's talked about the French weight allowance, what the French are doing with their weight allowance for female jockeys, and I discussed this in a former vlog about this £4 that female jockeys will be able to claim. There's pros and cons to this decision. I don't think it should happen at all, because I think female jockeys are just as capable, if not better, than some of the male jockeys. The only thing that is positive about it, it might bring more female jockeys into the sport, but I still don't think it's needed. I think the fact that Josephine Gordon, Lizzie Kelly, they've both been performing so well recently, and I think that will just inspire female jockeys anyway. I don't think this weight allowance is needed, but you're either on the side of the French decision or you're not, and unfortunately I'm not on that side, but we'll see what happens in the future and see whether that decision pays off for the French. Right now we're going to finish on a story about a racehorse who's unfortunately passed away at the age of 11. A suspected heart attack was what's come out from the news stories that I've heard, and Fame and Glory, this horse was absolutely fantastic. 5 Group 1 wins, an Irish Derby win, an Ascot Gold Cup win, a Coronation Cup win. all huge races to go and win. It was second behind See the Stars in the Epsom Derby. It was sixth behind See the Stars in the Arc de Triomphe. We know that See the Stars is one of the greatest of all time, and that just shows how good Fame and Glory was. I wish all the best to the team at the yard who looked after Fame and Glory, and just want to say, Fame and Glory, you were a true champion. Right, now on to my picks, and what have I picked for Fontwell on Tuesday the 14th. This is going to be my place spot, so remember, I might not be picking horse to win here. I might be looking at some of the bigger prices, so just keep that in mind. And the first horse that I'd like to pick out is Brown Bear in the 2 o'clock. Lizzie Kelly on board. I want to show the female jockeys a bit of love on Valentine's Day, and Lizzie Kelly looks the woman here on Brown Bear. Ran really well last time, and I just think it will run on a lot better in this race. Now the 2:30, I want to go with King Uther for Chris Gordon and Tom Cannon. 12 to 1 currently, but I saw this horse at the yard along with a horse that I'm going to talk about in the next race, but looked a really lovely horse, and I think should go well, especially with this trainer jockey combination. Now the next race, Tara Bridge, Chris Gordon, Tom Cannon again. Like I said, this horse though at the yard was absolutely huge, and looks like a proper chaser. Any horse that's got Cave Tara as the sire, I mean, it's going to run well, and this one here looks very, very special in my opinion, currently 5 to 1. Moving on to the 3:30 now, I'm going to go with the Mighty Don in this novice hurdle with Leighton Aspel. It's only 4 to 1 now, but it had a lot of backing, went up at 6 to 1 and already had a lot of backing. So I've got a feeling this horse here, a distance winner, beaten favourite last time out, I just think will go and win that race. However, Richard Johnson's back. He's on Casper King, the favourite here, back from an illness, which was unfortunate really, the fact that he had an illness and didn't get the chance to ride Native River on Saturday, but he's back here. Should go well on the favourite. I think this horse might win it, but I think Mighty Don is going to be my place pot selection there. Moving on to the 4 o'clock, you've got two favourites here that are probably going to be first and second, so it's going to be Leglock Luke or John's Luck. I'm going to go with John's Luck at the top of the handicap here. Harry Reid on board, £7 claim, a bit of an interesting jockey there. Never really heard of Harry Reid, but I wish him all the best on this horse for Neil Mulholland, who has an excellent strike rate at Fontwell. So that's my pick for that race. And the last race is a National Hunt flat race, but I'm going to go with Say No More at 25 to 1. Charlie Deutsch on board this horse, and Peter Hedger as well, who, when I was last at the race, I was at Lingfield on the flat. Peter Hedger had a double with Tom Marquand on board for the same owners, so I'm going to give Peter Hedger a little bit of support here in that final race on the National Hunt flat. Say No More, ridden by Charlie Deutsch, currently at 25 to 1. So they are my picks. This is my pick for the place pot. That's all I want to give you, and just wanted to have it all recorded down, just in case it does all come in and I have a massive 6-fold accumulator. I doubt I will, but it's just in case I do. Right, thanks very much for watching this news and special Fontwell picks vlog. It's been absolutely fantastic doing these videos so far. We are almost at 50 subscribers. That's my aim by the end of February, so make that happen. Make that happen by going and subscribing to the channel down below if you're new. Give the video a like if you're enjoying what I'm doing. Go comment down below if you want to see something new. I know a lot of you want to see jockey trainers and people involved in horse racing. You want to see interviews with them. I'm going to get that done in the next couple of months, so look out for that one there. But all I can say, guys, is your support is fantastic. So anything you can do to share is great. Go follow us at Heart of Racing on Twitter, and retweet our video links. If you want to see me tweet more on our Twitter page rather than just do video links, let me know down below. But everything you've done so far, guys, is absolutely fantastic, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday morning for our regular Thursday Friday fever. So thanks for watching, and cheers.